Howdy. Something about Baikal, the Lake Baikal. Baikal myths and legends. Since ancient times, there have been many myths and legends about Lake Baikal. It's no wonder that the lake keeps attracting shamans and mysticists from around the world. Most of the legends about the lake's origin, its people, and holy places are very old and are passed on from generation to generation. Even today, Baikal has still many mysteries and new myths never cease to appear. Of course, the main legend is the one about how Baikal came to be. A Buryat legend says that a long time ago there has been a great earthquake. The ground came apart and flame was raging from beneath. The fire was devouring everything in its way. People prayed to all the gods to stop the flame, but no answer came. In despair, people cried, "By God, fire, stop!" Miraculously, the fire died away. Instead, the rift was filled with clear water. This is how Lake Baikal appeared. However, another legend has a romantic twist to it. A rich man named Baikal had a beautiful daughter, Angara. The old man was strict and didn't want his daughter to see young men, but Angara heard from the seagulls about Yenisei, a handsome and merry man, and had been dreaming about him ever since. For those who know, Yenisei is a river, one of the biggest we have. Her father found this out, locked her up, and said he would find her a husband to his liking. Right before he arranged the wedding, Angara ran away and her father has never seen her again. He cried until his last day and his tears turned into the lake Baikal. Angara became the only river that flows from Baikal, like a girl running to see her beloved. Yeah, that's sadly 2022. These things happen still every day. And still they claim that we are so civilized and best thing Earth has ever created because we are so clever and smart and all these kind of things. But it's all just a commercial. Another legend says that one day at sunset, a fiery dragon came. A smash of his tail cracked the earth, and his breath melted snow and ice on mountain tops. The water fit the crack that became like Baikal. Flowers and trees sprouted everywhere, birds sang and animals roamed around the lake, and the dragon went to sleep at its bottom. Every 120 years, the dragon would come out of the lake and people would greet him with festivities. But there was a year when people forgot about the fiery dragon and his wrath. He flooded everything with water. Nobody has not heard about the dragon ever since. Only Lake Baikal remained. Lake Baikal. Udokan. Dormant. Last eruption 220 BC. 2670 BC. 5999. 5990 BC. 6210. 7290. The Udokan Plateau is a volcanic field located in southeastern Russia, 400 kilometers east-northeast of Lake Baikal. The field contains cinder cones, lava domes, lava flows, and explosion craters. The latest eruption took place at Jeppe Volcano about 2,200 years ago. Vidim. No recent eruptions less than 10,000 years ago. Dunkin Volcano. Eruption style, effusive strombolian. Last eruptions. Unknown. No recent eruptions. possibly less than 10,000 years. So we have volcanoes, we have earthquakes, even though that's 7 days old, but there were earthquakes in this region not too long ago, and they will continue. So this is one of the Earth's biggest lake. It's really big. It's a really big hole in Earth's crust, which doesn't go through until lava appears. I wanted to show you something. Tetrahedrons in the lake Baikal. Tetrahedrons, triangles, pyramids. They are created by shock waves from electromagnetic discharge events. And if we turn around, it's obvious that so much of the lake's bottom is not visible. And as you zoom in, it gets even less visible, which is really interesting. And there are many, or let's say a few volcanoes around that which are marked. This doesn't mean that there wouldn't be any other as well. Another thing is about Lake Baikal is its location. Because if you go straight up north, we will find the Laptev Seamount, where our magnetic North Pole is at the moment. It's somewhere here, really close. At the Gackle Ridge, where we might also find volcanoes. So now let's draw an imaginary line straight down. This seems to be the place where our magnetic North Pole is wandering towards. So this is going to be our new magnetic North Pole in some time. And like Lake Baikal is not too far away from it, it's on its path. But I also think that we might expect some fluctuations in the path. So will make some turns. And this region is really, really, really active. And I just wonder, 3 hours ago, for example, 3.3, and I just wonder, when do we see something erupting here? This kind of mud volcano or whatever kind of thing. Or maybe just water, a whole lot of it. Glacier outbursts. Which might be very well volcanic activity as well. Glaciers, I think glaciers are just contemporary lava streams made out of water. Simple as that. So if the water temperature fluctuates, there will be melting going on from underneath the glacier. So it is geothermal activity, and geothermal activity is a part of volcanism. It's not something unrelated to it. It is a part of it. And it doesn't have to be hot water. Geothermal, I understand the word thermal as talking about temperature. So we have to take both ends of the spectrum of temperature into account. We cannot just take the one on the plus side, for example, or the one on the minus side. We have to take the whole range. I think it's really cold up in the Himalayas. So let's say minus 30 degrees, 40 degrees, minus. And then we go to the other end of the spectrum. And we still talk about water. So minus 40 degrees, it's frozen. It's hard as a rock. And then we go to the other side of the spectrum. Steam, which can be really hot. And if you think about like ice is frozen, it is on the minus side, so it has its own charge, its own polarity. And if we have steam, it has its own charge, its own polarity. It's charged positively. And in between, where it's liquid, we have easy water, maybe better known as surface tension of water to many. So if you think about if we have water in the ground, in the sediments, and if you take sand in your hand and it's dry, it doesn't stay in your hand, it drains your finger. But if you wetten it, if it's wet sand, it sticks together because of the surface tension of the water, because of the electromagnetic potential of easy water. There's energy in it which keeps it together. So scale this up to mountain ranges, the Alps, Himalayas, Andes, what have you. If it's raining, for example, in the Alps, everything gets soaked. The rocks, everything gets soaked. So there will be created this kind of electromagnetic field just by the fact that everything is wet because of the surface tension. So the energy flow and all these things, they will change as everything gets wet. And now we have the problem. Anyway. Actually, we have two. First of all, we have a drought. Europe is drying out. The second problem is that we don't have any drought indicator here. I read weather radar, satellite, wind gust, wind accumulation, rain, thunder, rain accumulation, new snow, snow, that precipitation type, thunderstorms, temperature, dew point, humidity, freezing altitude, clouds, high clouds, medium clouds, low clouds, fog, cloud tops, cloud base, visibility, Cape index, thermals, waves, swell, 1, 2, 3, wind, wave, sea temperature, currents, tidal, NO2, PM205, aerosol, ozone layer, SO2, surface ozone, CO, concentration, dust mass, fire intensity, pressure, extreme forecast, weather warnings, outdoor map. No drought indication. So I cannot show you, but that's all red. Not only at the top layer, also in the deeper layer, like I'm talking about really the top layers, 1 meter. So if there's like expectingly coming a whole lot of water, maybe today, into Europe, in form of thunderstorms and stuff, today, maybe also tomorrow, still continuing in Europe, I would expect some earthquake activity as well, just because there's going to be a whole lot of water and it's somehow really dry. So there will be this kind of, how to put it, a gap in between really wet and really dry, and again, groundwater. And this will create some tensions. And let's see, I'm really somehow expecting to see a flood, somehow, how to put it, a strange flooding event, maybe in Europe, because I think the potential is there. I have to check how, is there anything going on anywhere, because this will still continue. This is just this day, and it already started yesterday. And actually, when we watch here at the end, it says no data. And somehow, sometimes I think these radar pictures aren't really what is going on. There's things missing. Sometimes it's flickering really strange. Actually, we could just check it out. Is there any recent earthquake activity in Europe? 2 hours. Yeah, central Italy. 12 minutes ago. 23 kilometers in depth. That's quite deep. 26 minutes ago, 23 kilometers in depth. All right. And the last small one, 23. So they're all fairly deep quakes, which is interesting. Montevettore. Maybe we should zoom in a bit and put terrain on, because sometimes it's easier to see water veins. Do we have water veins there? Would be interesting to have not for once. Yeah, there isn't anything really visible because we have forest. But it doesn't seem that there's any water vein near there, which is really interesting. Cascata Arena Uscherno. This might be a waterfall. Cascades. Mulino Arena. There has to be water somewhere, because people cannot live without water. So humanoids and other creatures which need water, if they tend to settle somewhere, they tend to settle somewhere near water, because it's easier to survive, which shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. Montevettore. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really interesting feature because it's round. It could be some kind of settlement as well. If it's not a crater. I don't know. Mudvolcano. Mudvolcano. Mudvolcano? No, you didn't heard that from me. But anyway, I think I leave it here. Actually, I started out with like Lake Baikal. Now I remember, but I drifted off. But I think I will leave it here because I guess too mixed up. Yeah, but it's interesting. Stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.